Okay, we're here with Gerry Carnelly from Octopus Tattoo in Derby, UK. How's it going, Gerry? You well?
Yeah, I'm very good. Very good.
Good. Listen, I just want to first start off about how you got into tattooing, the story of your fall into pain.
Alright, condensed version. Right, I went to art school, art college in Rochdale, where I grew up. After leaving school, because you know I was a lazy teenager, didn't really get a job, and spent 4 years there trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Got hold of a book called Modern Primitives, and you know, some of the early tattoo magazines like Outlaw Biker Tattoo Review, Skin Art and stuff like that, and you know, it all kind of fell into place from there. It was like, you know, the light bulb went on over my head and like bam, you know.
So did you start off with painting, or did you specialise in something in the art world before tattooing?
Well, my upbringing was kind of, I was influenced by sort of stuff like, you know, Iron Maiden album covers, Derek Riggs's work, a lot of science fiction book covers because my brother was a big science fiction fan, and yeah, you know, that kind of artwork really sort of did it for me. And it didn't go down too well at art college, as it rarely does. They push you at art college to go on to do a degree and stuff like this, and you know, that whole gallery thing where, you know, art is sectioned off from everybody else in these special like galleries, and you know, you've got all this kind of elitist sort of language that goes with it, and yeah, it's all very sort of pretentious, and just didn't relate. You know, couldn't relate to any of it.
And so, I mean, with the interest in tattooing for a fairly early age in your art career, how did you go from that to actually put an end to practice? Did you have a mentor, or did you just walk into a shop and just say, check it out, I want to do this?
No, I was actually a lot more shy than I am now at that point in my life. I spent a few years in a couple of different tattoo studios. I would say probably, as far as a mentor goes, Steve Potton from Hadfield, which is where they filmed The League of Gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, looking at his work over the years and seeing how solidly he did it and how clean it was, and you know, it just blew me away. So yeah, I would say probably Steve's a mentor. You're going to learn a lot quicker from a good tattooist who is also a good teacher, than you will, you know, like I did, hacking your legs up and stuff like that.
Did you really hack your legs up, or?
Yeah. I've got this one spot on my shin, I can't tattoo it anymore. It just, you know,
oh, really?
every time, yeah, it's another story, but yeah.
And so, what was your first tattoo?
It was this one here that was done by Louis Malloy, and it hurt like hell, and it didn't heal up very well, and there's gaps in it, but I still love it because it was where I was at the time, and yeah, that one really hurt. I was clinging onto the bottom of the seat and turning white and everything. You know, everything I tell people not to do now.
And your first, tell us about the story of your first guinea pig then, the first person you ever did a tattoo on.
Well, it was Steve Potton, and you know, I'd been hanging out at his shop for a good couple of years, like a couple of days a week, and yeah, one day, you know, it came down to it, and he said, right, you're going to do the tattoo, and it was so bad. 3 needle line, and by now it's like a 15 needle line because it's just bled out that much. It's just, it's an absolute piece of shit. So I could only get better, as Steve said.
So now, I mean, you're kind of pretty well known for your colour work now.
Yeah.
And so how did your interest come into colour, and is there a particular style in colour that you absolutely love, like you really look forward to doing, you can't wait to kind of get on something?
Yeah. Well, my interest in doing solid colour again came from watching Steve, because I mean, if you've ever seen any of his work, it is absolutely solid. I mean, stuff from years ago, even now, looks like it was done last week. So he's really, really good at that. And it was kind of, you know, that was my point of reference for getting a tattoo to look right. It was like, it's got to look like Steve makes it look, you know. So yeah, that was always the goal to aim for, and it still is. As far as styles go, I mean, these days I get asked to do a lot of flowers. I mean, anything natural and organic I really like. But really, what I'm most into, because of my background in, you know, science fiction art and stuff like that, is biomechanical stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of potential for that particular style to be explored, and I don't really think that it has been up till now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a lot of people do it, but there's not that many that do it well.
Right.
You know, it's like tribal. A lot of people sort of, you know, turn their nose up at tribal.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in actual fact, it's a very, very difficult style to master, and there's very few people who do it well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm interested in kind of exploring the biomechanical sort of field.
Okay, great. Is there anything that you wouldn't tattoo?
Yeah, racist stuff. I don't do public skin unless somebody is absolutely covered in tattoos already.
Define public skin.
Hands, neck, face.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's a trend at the moment for people of a certain age to dive in and get the back of their hand done or their neck done, you know, just so that they can kind of make this quantum leap into like looking hardcore or heavily tattooed or whatever. I just think that's totally fucked. You know, it's weak, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't do public skin at all, but when, you know, it's
you judge each case on
the different criteria.
Yeah.
I mean, if I regard somebody to be not experienced enough
to make that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to judge, right? But you know, sometimes.
But you have to a certain degree.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing, because you're basically saying to a stranger, you can't have that.
Yeah.
You know, and that as long as they're over 18, technically they can.
Yeah.
But then again, I've got the right to sort of say, well, I'm not. You can get it, but I'm not doing it.
It is an interesting argument, because, you know, as we all know, it's about your own creativity, and it's about your own body.
Yeah. And
your own decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a moral standpoint that has to be there.
Yeah.
As well. So it is a difficult one. There's quite a few subjects I've found.
Yeah, there's a lot of grey areas about that. You know, whether you should or shouldn't do stuff.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody kept coming in every week and saying, I want the back of my hand done for my first tattoo, you know, every week, I'd probably buckle in the end and just do it. And be like, your life, you know, wash your hands of it. But I'm not doing it just so somebody can be the coolest guy down the club on Friday night.
Yeah.
You know? It's just, I think that's just lame.
So, if there's anything about the tattoo scene that you would change?
Yeah, I'm kind of ambivalent about it. I love tattooing.
Do you think it's heading in a good direction?
It's hard to say. We're in a funny kind of sort of a flux at the moment. Everything seems to be really chaotic, and you know, it's reached a point where it's overwhelming. It feels like it's out of control. You know, there's so much tattoo stuff. Yeah. You know, I just want to scream stop sometimes.
Do you find do you find that like a lot of people maybe in years gone by, say maybe 10 years ago, there was a very big feeling that tattooing wasn't given its artistic deserts, and wasn't given the credit that it deserved, and the exposure that it deserved. And then 10 years on, it's kind of getting that. Now, and
everybody's going on.
And everybody, I mean.
I mean, I kind of liked one of the appealing things about tattooing for me was the fact that it was a marginal profession, you know, and it wasn't like your everyday job, and it wasn't a mainstream thing, and now it is, and it doesn't change how much I like tattooing, but I do wish a bit of the razzmatazz would just shut the fuck up. You know, I'm so sick of the word tattoo. I'm so sick of fucking rockstar tattooists, you know. I mean, Ed Hardy t-shirts, Sailor Jerry rum, you know, it's been merged to fuck, and I'm like, oh please, just leave it alone. But there you go, that's just me.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm an old cranky git. Got skin? Tattoo.tv.